That's Sean Combs' birthday. It's also the day that Mia testified she was first sexually assaulted by Sean Combs. She said it happened at the Plaza Hotel here in New York City when they were in the penthouse. She said Combs pulled her alone into the kitchen, put his hand up her dress and forcibly kissed her when she did not want him to.
People reported that the Playboy Mansion was rumored to have a series of underground tunnels that connected the mansion to other homes in the area. However, one staff member told the site that the tunnels were closed up in sometime in 1989.
The officers found strange items on the floor, such as children's clothing.
Uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Day 12 of testimony in the Diddy trial has just wrapped up, and the courtroom was left in stunned silence. What unfolded today was nothing short of shocking. Disturbing sexual acts and degrading rituals reportedly took place in the dead of night inside Diddy's lavish mansions. Homeland investigators revealed the existence of secret underground tunnels allegedly linking Diddy's properties to other celebrity homes. Even more chilling, a leaked witness list, and one question on everyone's mind: who is victim number 4? And why is she so terrified of Diddy? And perhaps the most haunting twist of all, how did Katt Williams predict all of this nearly a year ago? One whispered secret keeps surfacing again and again: tunnels beneath Diddy's mansions.
The FBI discovered a tunnel this morning that the rapper had made in his home, connected to the basement of a former Michael Jackson home.
There is an underground mansion.
The officers found strange items on the floor, such as children's clothing.
Actually terrifying to know that this exists.
Uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
And here's the swimming pool. So obviously right now you can't make out how big this place actually is, but stick around to the end of this video and we're gonna watch sunrise and check out the exterior. All right, let's see the inside of this place. Okay, I'm walking inside. From the backyard, I stumble upon a dark set of stairs leading down under the house, right into the basement. It smells like mildew here in the basement. It's not a good sign. The air is getting cooler as I walk through the open door, swallowed by the darkness. The faint hum of a machine immediately catches my ear. Perhaps the HVAC system left on to fend off the mold creeping through the lower levels. Guys, I don't know about this.
Guys, they found underground tunnels at Diddy's homes. This was first brought up by Shadow of Ezra, where he talked about the underground tunnels in Diddy's luxurious Los Angeles mansion. It was an underwater swimming tunnel leading to a mysterious grotto, reminiscent of an ancient and modern human use of caves. Now, this is all alleged, of course, but they say that this tunnel connects to the Playboy Mansion. You guys remember that? Hugh Hefner, the guy who lived with all those women in his mansion? There's no available evidence right now. However, reports are noting that Combs' mansions do have a pool with an underwater swimming tunnel. They say it's not connected to the Playboy Mansion, but there is a reason why the Playboy Mansion keeps coming up. 10 years ago, they were building underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion for people like Jack Nicholson for his birthday. So this way, they don't have to go through the outside, but go underground in secret to the Playboy Mansion to do God knows what. You can see the sketches here of these underground tunnels being built. They were working on it, and it was supposed to connect celebrities like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Michael Jackson, just to name a few. As reported by People magazine, these underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion were sealed off in the 1980s.
On January 3rd, 8 months before Diddy's arrest at a New York hotel, and long before the world suspected anything, Katt Williams dropped a bombshell. In an explosive interview with Shannon Sharpe, now sitting at nearly 89 million views, Katt called out names and exposed the very tactics Hollywood elites allegedly used to lure and trap minors. Diddy and his alleged co-conspirators were among those mentioned, and just months after that interview aired, a formal investigation was launched. For decades, Katt Williams moved quietly among Hollywood's elite. Now, he's pulling back the curtain and revealing the disturbing secrets he says he witnessed firsthand.
Ben Affleck actually recently walked away from J-Lo because these allegations were coming out.
And isn't there even some concern that, or proof that Pastor T.D. Jakes?
Well, I'm getting right there. So there's this big list that Diddy said, I'm not going down alone. Because Katt Williams went on a podcast a while back, and Katt Williams, who's a well-known comedian in the black community for a long time, he went on a podcast and basically just regurgitated all this information that was just so valid. And he said, all these people, he said, you got God on one side and then you got the other side. And he said, the other side, they're all going down in 2024. And he mentioned that he was offered $50 million 4 separate times to join in with these Diddy parties to basically be sodomized. And he turned it down every time.
To help his career.
To bring his career to the next level.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited that I'm gonna be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room and Nick, come here. Is that two kissing?
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. Because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it.
Watch as Katt Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes, and watch as T.D. Jakes and Gino Jennings' response.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
TD Jakes, do not speak against homosexuality.
Diddy's mansions were raided in March 2024, yet he wasn't arrested until nearly 6 months later, in September. Leaked reports suggest investigators believe Diddy may have escaped using secret underground tunnels beneath his Miami mansion. These tunnels allegedly linked his property to the Playboy Mansion and were long believed to be sealed off. As expected, the police investigation turned up nothing. But if there's one thing we've learned, it's this. When Diddy's involved, evidence has a strange way of vanishing. And in just a moment, you'll see exactly what that means.
Interesting how the media and everyone is trying to say, no, there's no connection. Well, have you guys even figured out if there's a connection yet? I feel like authorities are so stuck in time in the past where they say, oh, don't look into this, don't investigate this, these claims aren't real. But then we see social media sleuths put together these stories and solve investigations. I'm not saying the authorities aren't smart people, they can figure it out, but sometimes the help from the public can lead to, us actually figuring out the truth. But do the authorities want the truth? It really matters who's at the top and who they're trying to protect. Another conspiracy theory that circulated at the time of the raids was that Diddy escaped through an underground tunnel. I do believe he has an escape route planned when it comes to his Miami property because he can easily access the Bahamas through a boat. When it comes to his LA property, he might have a backup plan, which kind of explains these tunnels.
In case you're wondering where Diddy hosted these parties, specifically the parties that took place underground, I was absolutely shocked to find out that there is an underground mansion with tennis courts, indoor pools, marble everything, a literal ballroom. And this checks out because Ali Carter was talking about this underground ballroom. Actually, imagine being 5 floors beneath the surface. Willing to bet there's no cell service. What are you gonna do? Scream, run? Where are you gonna go? Actually terrifying to know that this exists. Just want to play tennis in my underground mansion. I have no words. It's crazy.
I can't imagine this being real because it seems so dystopian. Per news reports in March 2024, Diddy's properties in LA and in Miami were raided by Homeland Security. Diddy's LA mansion was located in the upscale neighborhood of Holby Hills, the same neighborhood as the Playboy Mansion. However, there is no known underground tunnel connecting the two. According to this report, people reported that the Playboy Mansion was rumored to have a series of underground tunnels that connected the mansion to other homes in the area. However, one staff member told the site that the tunnels were closed up in sometime in 1989. And I don't know why celebrities are so scared to acknowledge these tunnels. I feel like, oh yeah, there's underground tunnels, cool.
Online sleuths believe Diddy's long history of evading consequences isn't just coincidence. It's evidence that someone far more powerful may be protecting him. Just yesterday, a shocking video surfaced, allegedly revealing the identity of Witness 4. She stated she had worked with Diddy for years and was deeply afraid to testify, saying she knew exactly what he was capable of. The judge promised her identity would remain protected, but within 24 hours, it was leaked. Was this a deliberate move orchestrated by Diddy, or just another disturbing coincidence?
By the way, interesting update from court. Sean Combs' counsel, Alexandra Shapiro, says some people on the internet think they figured out who Mia is. We got this video, again, that might be used to impeach her credibility. We got this video also from random people on the internet. We don't think this was ever posted on her social media. It was on some random website. Should we show it to you? I got to ask you, I have to move on to this question, Serena. This is quite alarming. How is this possible?
I have no idea how it's possible, and I'm sure Mia is probably, panicking in this moment in time. Like, are people stalking her on the internet, trying to figure out her identity? She testified that she was a victim, essentially. There's shield laws that exist to try to protect people in her position. And so this is really getting very nerve-wracking probably for her, and just absurd for the courtroom.
If someone revealed her identity, is that a crime, Tyler?
No, it's not a crime if somebody revealed her identity, especially if they're not a part of this case. The reason they have these confidentiality orders and protective orders is for the parties involved to do their best to protect a Jane Doe or anybody proceeding under a pseudonym's identity. It is possible for the public to learn their identity, but it's really the people who are part of the case who are agreeing to protect her confidentiality. Once she got on that stand, it's very possible that somebody knew her identity. What I find more troubling and less likely is if this video is being sent by random people on the internet, and that's what they want to proffer as evidence in this criminal trial, I find that hard to be admitted. If they could track the video from one person who could confirm the identity of the person, and then it can be used for impeachment evidence, that's different. But random people on the internet sending videos, that opens the door to a can of worms.
There's drama playing out behind the scenes at Sean Diddy Combs' sex trial. Two women prosecutors wanted to call as witnesses are so terrified of retribution from Combs. One went into hiding. The other did take the stand, but the judge went to great lengths to protect her identity. Les Trent is at the courthouse.
The sons of Sean P. Diddy Combs arrive in court on a day of dramatic testimony from a witness known as victim number 4. This is what we know about victim number 4. She's Diddy's former assistant, and in court, she will be known only by the name Mia. Mia is not her real name. She agreed to testify only if extraordinary measures were taken to hide her identity. Reporters were ordered not to describe her, and get this, even the courtroom sketch artist was ordered not to draw her. Her attorney says she did not want to testify and had hoped that she could take what happened to her grave.
It's highly unusual. You normally see things like this in gang cases, MS-13, the Bloods, the Crips, Mafia cases.
In court today, she told jurors her time as Diddy's assistant was toxic. He's thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall. He's thrown me into a pool. He's thrown an ice bucket on my head. He also sexually assaulted me.
Sometimes her voice trails away. It's as though she is in fear still. She testified that she was in fear when she worked for Sean Combs. It almost seems like she's still a bit fearful.
This isn't the first time that evidence tied to Diddy has mysteriously vanished or been leaked. Investigators looking into the arson case involving Kid Cudi's car which exploded shortly after Diddy allegedly threatened him, revealed that fingerprints were recovered from the vehicle and taken in for analysis. But once those prints reached the station, they were accidentally destroyed. Another coincidence, or part of a much bigger cover-up.
Court has adjourned today in the sex and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Today, the defense requested a mistrial following testimony from an LA arson investigator, but the judge denied the request. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
A mistrial request denied in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. His defense team accusing the government of prosecutorial misconduct during the testimony of a Los Angeles arson investigator who spoke about fingerprints that were lifted from the front door of rapper Kid Cudi's home as part of an investigation into a break-in there in 2011. The investigator testifying that those fingerprints were destroyed, and when prosecutors asked the investigator if that was unusual, the defense accused them of trying to plant the idea that Combs was responsible.
The overall implication, according to the defense, is that somehow Sean Combs created that disappearance. The defense moved for a mistrial, and they moved for it because what they said is it's unduly prejudiced, because this is the whole theory of what the prosecution is putting forth, is that he has this control and can make these investigations disappear.
Instead, the judge striking that part of the testimony, telling jurors to disregard it. Right before, the jury heard from a police officer who responded to that break-in, testifying that he saw a black Escalade leaving the scene with plates registered to Combs' company Bad Boy Productions. The arson investigator also testifying about another incident at Kid Cudi's home in 2012 when his Porsche was set on fire. He testified about the smoke and fire damage in these photos that were shown to the jury and said he determined the fire was targeted and started with a Molotov cocktail. Kid Cudi last week testified he believed Combs was responsible for both incidents after finding out he was dating Cassie Ventura.
At the same time, disturbing reports have surfaced, suggesting Diddy may be connected to the sudden disappearance of witnesses set to testify against him. Witness 3 vanished just days before the trial began. This individual had previously agreed to testify, even without the protection of anonymity. So what changed? Why did she suddenly back out? And more importantly, where is she now?
Sean Combs, over the years, has made people disappear.
Right. Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? So, you know.
There were rumors.
I'm not saying.
Well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. He said, I say this all the time, I saw the tunnel, I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought I'd gone to the wrong place. I looked up the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, come on, or was that Puffy?
Allegedly, the real reason Diddy finally came under investigation wasn't just the growing list of accusations. It was because the people at the top had enough. He crossed the very power players who once protected him. Diddy went against his masters. And now, they're coming for him.
Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner. Then in January 2024, they settled out of court. Diageo and Diego settled the dispute out of court. While details still remain sealed, the settlement marked the end of their business relationship. So this is from 2007 to 2024, 17 years Could they have protected him? I don't know. Their CEO currently today is Deborah Ann Crew. She was a former intelligence officer in the military, once intelligence officer, forever you're an intelligence officer. Who knows what happened? We don't know the relationship. We're not going to make any accusations. All we know is, could this have been a protection where they were at the parties and they knew things that were taking place and are like, wait, what do you want to do to us? No problem. Boom, drop the bomb. I don't know. All I'm saying is the timing is kind of strange. Maybe even they wanted to kind of be like, look, we know what's about to be dropped on this guy. We want to have nothing to do with you. We're out. Here's some money. You stay quiet. We'll pay you, but we want to get out of here. The only thing that the timing's kind of crazy is January 2024, they settle. 2 months later, remember what we're sitting there doing and minding our own business? And you hear, March of 2024, the feds are raiding Diddy's Miami home and his LA home. For what?
According to court records, evidence was presented that directly links Diddy to the blackmail of multiple witnesses. Cassie's former stylist, Deontay Nash, took the stand and revealed that he once had to hide with Cassie, fearing for their lives. Nash testified that he personally witnessed Diddy threaten Cassie on several occasions, including threats to leak their sex tapes to her professional contacts. It wasn't just control, it was calculated intimidation.
Diddy victim number 2 is saying that she was blackmailed with freak-off videos just like Cassie Ventura. And I've seen a lot of people wondering, are the freak-off tapes going to be played in court for the jury to see? And yes, they actually are. The government is still fighting right now to make sure that these freak-off tapes, when they're played in court, are only going to be for the jury's eyes. They dropped some very interesting information today about these tapes and saying that victim number 2 has proof that she was allegedly blackmailed with these freak-off tapes. In this motion, the government is asking the judge to make sure that people from the press are not able to be in this courtroom when these freak-off videos are played, because they are saying that they are blackmail and they are very explicit videos. Now, the government talked about how Cassie Ventura said that Diddy would record these videos on multiple different encounters and then tell her that he would release these tapes against her, and she found it humiliating and disgusting, and she wanted them deleted off the devices. Now, the government is saying Diddy victim number 2, who is going by the pseudonym of Jane, will provide a similar testimony to that of Cassie Ventura's, stating that she did not want to participate in the freak-offs and that she was terrified of anyone seeing the recordings of her engaging in these activities. And the government expects to offer text messages that Jane sent to the defendant's chief of staff on December 28th of 2023. And the chief of staff at the time would be Christina Korn, and she stated, "Diddy just threatened me about my tapes and that he has me on 2 phones. He said he would expose me and send them to another person." And then she proceeded to write another text message to Christina Korn, but right now this information is blacked out and it looks pretty long compared to the last text message that they reference. The government says that these text messages confirm James' views of the recordings of her encounters during the freak-offs with the same level of honor as Cassie Ventura. And they are alleging that the defendant used those recordings to blackmail both victims, who were and remain terrified of the release of those tapes.
Another key witness in the trial, known as Mia, Diddy's former assistant, also took the stand. She testified that Diddy blackmailed her and sexually exploited her, just like Cassie. According to Mia, this abuse wasn't a one-time event. It was ongoing. The jury was shown a chilling list Mia had written back in November 2011 detailing her job duties. Among them were, protect him at all times, and anticipate his needs, whims, and moods. Now Diddy's world is collapsing around him. The tunnels, the threats, the disappearing witnesses, it's all coming to light. But if this is just what's been exposed in court, imagine what's still hidden behind closed doors. Katt Williams warned us. So now we have to ask, who else knew? Who's next? And will the system finally hold the elite accountable? If you want to stay ahead of the headlines and hear the truth they don't want you to know, make sure you're subscribed. This story is far from over. Drop your thoughts below. Is Diddy really running the show, or is he just a pawn being sacrificed by someone even more powerful?